All right, and we are back, and it is time for nerding out. Um, so I will go first because I'm going to talk about Corey about his anyways. And the mine is a British TV show that appears on Dave called Dara O'Brien Goes 8-Bit.
Are they just shining
Um,
nice new shows on Tasteful Dave's bald head? Hi, Dave. Is that just
yeah. Yes, yeah. So, Dave, which is a TV channel over in the UK, is famous for airing old BBC and Channel 4 shows. So it'll air like right now you'll probably find them airing like Russell Howard's Good News or old episodes of Top Gear, or QI or 8 out of 10 Cats. It goes over to Dave after it gets done over on BBC or and Channel 4. But they also do original stuff. Like they have Red Dwarf airs over there. Dara O'Brien's Goes 8-Bit is another show, obviously because I'm talking about it. Alan Davies has a show over there, which actually is really cool. It's like a roundtable discussion with comedians. Sort of like comedians in cars getting coffee, except there's no coffee and no cars. But there's that, that talk of have happened in the comedians' lives, and how they do comedy and stuff like that. One of the great episodes I'd recommend is that had Harry Shearer on there. But this is all about video games. So this is part panel show, which I love. I love me a good panel show, but it's another part video game show. So each week, Dara O'Brien, with his two regulars, like the team captains, they bring in two other comedians or two other people to do sorry, my mom is distracting me at my door. um but the so they'll bring in comedians or famous people, and they will play 5 video games over the course of the episode, and there are points that are there are points that are awarded per who wins and who loses. And so you'll get games like, actually one of my favorite ones was they did Little Big Planet 3, and the production company actually made that, the people who make the video game made a special Go 8-Bit version or a Go 8-Bit level, and I'm like, that is cool. And they've done other things like, on the first episode they had, I can't think of what the game was, but their final game, they had it hooked up to other people. So like to for the controls, so you had to you had to like touch them, and it'll make your character do whatever it had. Oh, it was like that Bubble Bobble game. So like
okay?
you had to like you touch one person, and the gun would go this way, go this way. Touch your third person, it'll shoot the bubble. Sort of deal. And it's it's really fun, really enjoyable, and you learn a lot about these games. And they're games from the early arcade games to modern gaming with like the Super Nintendo N64, Dreamcast, up to the PS4, Xbox 360 or Xbox One, and then even mobile gaming. Like one of the games that they played was Snake. Am I seriously sidelining? Fuck me.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Back. Let's try this. And how now?
Still crackly.
Son of a bitch.
Just unattach and reattach your mic.
But if I do that, then it's gonna.
Oh no, you're fine. No, you're fine. Now I hear me.
Yeah, now you're gonna hear yourself. Problem. And I'm gonna go back. All right. so I should be good, I think.
You're okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's fun, and you learn a lot about the various games. Um, including oh gosh, they did Super Street Fighter 2 on the latest episode, and you learn they did a little Easter egg after the video package that the um the creator of the game wanted to give Chun-Li a lower health bar to show the realism of women being weaker than men. I'm using air quotes around their audio listeners, but
Instead, they
but
designed a video game around the sexism in the industry.
yeah, yeah. And so they're like, so they make the joke of, oh, so you mean, yeah, like they're weaker when you're talking about a game where you create fireballs out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, that's great thinking. But no, it's a fun game. It's a fun show to watch, and it's making me go, oh yeah, I remember that game, or like, oh, I've never heard of that game. I should check it out, and just thoroughly enjoying myself. It's all the fun of Let's Plays, but with British people, with British celebrities.
Yeah, but it's still not as good as Game On, though.
Too soon.
Always too soon.
No, it's not as fun as Shut Up and Play the Twit After Party. With producer and host Glenn Rubenstein. But yeah, so
crossroads.
so that is my nerding out, and now Corey, you have an app.
God damn it, I do, and I'm not proud. So earlier in the show, we mentioned the fact that I got my phone replaced. Now, when you get a new toy, even if it's the same toy that you just had, just made not to explode, you kind of you play with it for all it's worth. Much like a penis when you hit your early teens, it's just you can't put it down. You can't just stop messing around with it. And so now I'm the second time lucky. I'm trying to not fill up my phone with a bunch of apps that were just like transferred over from phones of many years ago, because that's the first thing it does is it starts loading up things that I've installed from the Google Play Store multiple times. Some of them just either stop getting developed or don't really exist anymore, and they're just taking up space. Some of them, like Samsung's Milk Music, which I liked a lot, have gone the way of the dodo. But I'm trying some new things too, and it's a decent phone. It's a decent sized screen. I thought I would give a shot at a game that I'd heard about a little while ago, and I'll get into the reasonings why in a minute. But it's based off a Marvel property. I'm thought, yeah, let's be a sucker and let's go and play a Marvel game, and it's called Avengers Academy. Now, I did not know what type of game it was. I assumed it was one with fighting and stuff. No, it's not that. It's not one of those bash'ems, crack your screen with your thumb because you're pissed off because Thor just kicked your tiny little ass again. It's not. And that's probably good, because I wouldn't retain interest in that kind of game for very long. I prefer a game that has the a controller to it. It's still not quite right for me playing those types of games on a screen. There are games that work on phones really well. There are games that work on mobile really well, or on Game Boys in general. There's games that you want to play on your big screen, though. There's games that you want to play in front of a TV. This game is perfect for mobile, but it's also the worst kind of game possible.
Yeah, it's a Farmville type game.
That's exactly it. If someone had told me, hey, Corey, it's like Marvel Comics version of Farmville, I would have ostracized that person from my life. Unfortunately, I can't ostracize myself, and I know that I'm weak. Because when Farmville first came out, and Castleville, I think, was probably more my prime one, but other games like that, I was a sucker. I was one of those people who played that game way too goddamn much. I was one of those people who played that game to the point of like, yeah, I could wait the 10, 14, 26 hours for my crops to grow, or I could drop the $5 into the system and just, you know, not be such a sucker. There was a Marvel game that was on Facebook as well.
Marvel Avengers Alliance.
Yeah, and I was on that one for a long time too. I cold turkeyed these games, man. It was rough. I needed help. I needed strength. I needed the support of my loved ones. I maybe needed a straitjacket and for someone to take my card away. But I did it. I stopped it. And now I have fucked myself because I'm back into this shit unintentionally, based off of the idea of Marvel properties in general. And this is the reason why I installed it in the first place, is because I remember reading something a few months ago, maybe, about the fact that they were including characters who I've not gotten to yet, like Wiccan and Hulkling from the Young Avengers, or whatever version they're in now on that goddamn Marvel Universe stuff. And they were like, we have openly LGBT characters in a Marvel video game on mobile, and I thought that's pretty cool. And I have seen characters like Kamala Khan on here. I've seen Loki, and Loki's like all kinds of things. And since he was part of Young Avengers during the Gillen run, he's considered LGBT too, I guess. He's
also that because there will be times where he's a woman.
Yeah.
So he goes.
But I don't know if that's necessarily Loki transgendered. I think Loki just transcends gender is more of what the character is in that. But yeah, I get it.
So how early are you into the game?
I've hit level 11.
11? Okay.
Today. And I'm not far. I've only been playing it for a couple of days, but I have been relentlessly. My wife looked over my shoulder the other day. She leaned in to give me a kiss because she doesn't know what kind of moron she married in this regard. And she's like, "Oh, you're playing a video game. What game are you playing?" And I'm like, "One that fills me with nothing but regret and a lack of pride. Step away from me, woman. Don't allow yourself to get infected." She wouldn't get infected by this. She was the Candy Crush addict. So I just go ahead.
I'm gonna let you in on this. You came in late on it, which is fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like here, I will actually do the shaky cam again to look. There's my room. I'm trying to move a cord. I just realized this is my database right here of all the Avengers that I have.
Yeah, you've got characters like Agent 13, Ant-Man, Daredevil, Captain America. I mean, I can see that I can get Captain America.
Ant-Man is the one I'm currently trying to unlock, but Agent 13, Black Panther, they came
right now. The Guardians of the Galaxy are all the big rage and everything. I have seen Agent Coulson and Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are available. But all of these are like, if you have a ton of things that require you to spend money. I ain't spent money on this yet, and I'm planning on not doing that. But it is such a tear in the nuts to just be like, oh, I've got to wait 8 hours for, like, all my missions are occupied, and they're all like legendary missions, and I have to just wait forever for it to happen. But that's why you can put down your goddamn phone. I'm weak. I'm not prideful.
Yeah, so there's been three or four special events. Like there was the Guardians of the Galaxy one, and they just redid it, so it's like you get Star-Lord here. Yeah. And then you get with this one it was Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot. But then but in the actual event, you could have got Gamora and
Drax,
Yondu, Drax, Nebula, and all that. But and like the Agent 13 and Black Panther, they were in the Civil War.
Right, when Civil War came out, that makes absolute sense. And that's the thing is, And I like more off the wall characters. Anyways, I'm not saying I'm not excited when Cap finally shows up, because I love me some Captain America, based off of the movies at least, not Captain
Yeah.
Hydra in the comics. But I'm just saying it's the pressure is there constantly, like, oh, you've got all these rocks that you need to clear to open up your area to be able to put down new foundations. Do you know what would be
Yeah.
really good at knocking out those rocks? The Hulk. You know what it costs to get the Hulk? Oh, like $30. Just fucking
If
throw
you want to
down,
get him
man.
early. Yeah, if
Right,
you
if
want to
you want
get
to get
him
them early.
early. But the cool thing that I like about the game is the voices. They have some big name people doing voices. Like Dave Franco does the voice of Iron Man.
I had a feeling
John
that was Dave Franco. Every time I hear
Yeah.
him talking, I'm like, that sounds like a Franco.
Yeah, John Cena voices the Hulk. Uh, Priyanka Chopra, who's the star of Quantico, voices Kamala Khan. Um, and there's other ones, but I can't think of who they are right now. But
And it sounds like a selling point until you hear them say the same things a dozen
yeah,
times in an hour.
it's essentially like, oh, we got Priyanka Chopra in here to say 6 lines,
Now, it's
and
a
oh, we
little
got John.
easier though when you have many characters, because you won't hear the same
Yeah,
ones over and over
yeah,
again. But it takes some time to get there. The other thing is I
no,
like the
I've
style of
been
the
getting,
game.
yeah,
I
I've
like
been
I
getting,
like the look of the characters, because they're the basis of this is that they're teens. They're in a college type situation where they're learning to be Avengers. Nick Fury and Pepper Potts, strangely, are the adult educators. Also, Hank Pym shows up. These are the kind of faculty of this that are teaching to be
yeah,
Avengers, but everybody else
Ares,
is kind of, yeah. I
yeah,
think I've seen
Ares
Ares
is in
pop up.
there. Odin,
Odin.
Pepper Potts is a student advisor.
Oh, that makes sense.
Sort of, yeah. Um,
Snitches get stitches, Potts. Just remember that shit. Yeah, but the style of it, they're all like in basic street clothes. They have jackets and jeans and everything. It looks very modern superhero, of like, we're gonna make them look more like they're able to hang out and go like they just fell out of the Gap. And
yeah,
but it's cute. I like it stylistically. I like the voices. It's just
and
it's one of those games that there's not a lot to it. It's just the compulsion to keep. It's like
mhm.
heroin. It is the heroin of games, and it's terrible. And I hate myself for playing it. And I'm hoping that I'll get bored of it, like I've gotten bored of many other things, and just like, nope, done now. But it's
I
tough at
highly
this
doubt it.
stage.
I hate to say it, but I highly doubt it because I've went through I think it's 5 events.
Yeah, but
Or
I'm old and distracted easily, and I'm like got dementia just starting
yeah,
to happen. So it could be an advantage.
no, yeah. But the other cool thing that I like about this is the outfits. So when they had the Guardians of the Galaxy event, that was one of the outfits that you could get for Tony Stark. That's my tablet falls. You could get his Guardian Buster or Guardian armor right there. Or they have the other ones, like they got the Superior Iron Man armor. They got the Captain Star Lord armor, the more classic looking Star Lord. Um, who else? They got the Captain America Falcon, which I love. Um, and the other cool part is the way that they evolve. So right now, one of the characters I have is Spider Gwen. I got her during the where is Spider Gwen? Come here, Spider Gwen. But I got her during the Spider-Man event, and the way that they evolve is, so you got level 1, which is more just Gwen Stacy of Earth 65. Then you get to level 3,
Where they
where
start to get pieces of the costume.
yeah, which this is almost like cosplayer Spider Gwen, because it's like, oh, she has the hoodie, and then
Casual superheroics is what we'll call it.
yeah, yeah, and then level 5, where there's the full bore Spider Gwen outfit, um, and which I would be eligible to get as soon as they unlock the because that's the other cool thing that I like about this, or another cool thing, is that you get these characters like um Spider Woman, the Jessica Drew Spider Woman, Black Panther, uh, at during these events, Agent 13, and then you get and then you get them, and oh, how do I evolve them now that, or how do yeah, evolve? How do I level them up now that the event's over? Well, they make it easy where they will send in the missions, they will actually drop um like emblems that look like half Captain America's shield, half Tony Stark's arc reactor thing, and oh, that's used for the people that I got during that event, or the Guardians of the Galaxy emblem that's for the Guardian for uh, Peter Quill and Gamora, sort of, or Rocket, for the people you got during Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's the cool thing is they've taken the time to realize, okay, we got people who are spending a lot of time on this. How are we going to upgrade or get it to where they're not like, oh, after this, I can't upgrade Star-Lord after level 1 because I didn't work on him enough in that month of your event.
Right. Yeah, that's the worst. Also, I mean, the other thing that's the worst is anytime that you have things that are only available to people to spend money. If you can't work your way through it, if I'm willing to spend the hours and hours of time to advance versus the person who's got a Hunsky built in their wallet just burning through and they're just willing to spend, I should get the same advantages they do, just in the time that it takes to do it.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. And that's where I like that.
Sorry for sneezing into the mic. I was trying to mute at the same time it was happening.
You're fine. Are you kidding me? This is a dude who burps into his microphone all the time. But they also have this thing where a lot of the times, especially with the earlier events, the people who were like that you paid money for were the villains.
Right.
So like if I was, rich money bags, I would have been like, all right, $500 or whatever, however much you spend, and I'm gonna buy everyone to where I have, this big campus full where I got the Red Skull, he's doing these jobs and this and that. But yeah, it's I find it fun. Can it get boring? Yes, because I'm at the point now with leveling up buildings where it takes a day and a half.
Yeah, it's tedious, and you have to kind of pick and choose your, all right, well, if I send the person on this mission for 8 hours, it'll get this other thing unlocked. But if I want to open up the board to be able to get missions for other characters on that, I have to send them on this one for 10 hours. And it's just, you really have to kind of weigh on like, where do I want to send them now? And it's like, oh crap, I just sent Black Widow to go do this other thing. It's going to take all night, but I could have given her this mission for 3 minutes and busted this thing right through. So it's not exactly strategy. It's just more of planning versus not planning. And honestly, the nice thing about it is that, okay, everybody's occupied for the next 3 hours. I can close the app and go do something else, and it continues on. It's not like Pokemon Go, where you have to have the thing open or you're walking around to count your steps to have it register so that you can crack an egg once in a while, unless you have a watch or something that connects to it that will be coming in the future. That's
Pokemon Go Plus.
Right.
That's another one I want people to quit asking. Do you guys have the Pokemon Go Plus? No, we do not, sir.
Yeah, having customers is the worst part about working retail.
No, it's having.
Why do people want to spend their money here? What do you think this is, a business?
No, it was the one time where in my head I'm like, shut up, evil, sadistic side or whatever, because this dude, bigger guy, he's like, and someone I was walking over to him when he asked another person who works there. So do you guys, and they got on the radio, was like, do we have Pokemon Go Plus? I'm like, no, you're gonna have to get that online. Well, it's $100. Well, how bad do you want the Pokemon Go Plus?
Right. Oh, by the way, we have a 2000 CP Snorlax in the stock room. Sorry, you're not allowed back there. Employees only.
But yeah, so that is it for nerding out.
Yeah,
We
I'm
are
not
going.
even necessarily nerding out so much as I'd like to get out of this nerding, but it's the right now. Eh.